The wall has fallen. It has been but a few years since the Dreamquake ravaged the world of Avalon, a devastating cataclysm that turned mother against child, guard against citizen, and lover against lover. In its wake, the once mighty dragon's cavalry lies decimated, and the Emerald Plains, a land where time and reality mean nothing, now unleashes nightmarish creatures upon the realm. Hope is dying. In desperation, mortals look to the legendary Emerald Heroes, valiant protectors of old. But even as these heroes ascend to divinity, their silence echoes a call for new champions to emerge. Some will rise to greatness, others will falter, and many will ignore the call entirely. But what of you? Will you stand as you are, or will you accept the call to adventure, the call to discover who you can be? Welcome to Lyberencia, where the gold chains of fate bind and guide gods and mortals alike. This is Extreme Advantage. Hey guys, welcome to Extreme Advantage. My name is James. I'm the humble dungeon master, but I'm not really all that. A dungeon master. I'm a bit of a dum-dum, but that's okay because we love our dum-dum master. We're just a bunch of friends. We met at the same job and we're having a good time. We thought other people might enjoy our hilarity as well. Today we just want to introduce some of us and our characters just a wee bit here. So we'll just go around the table and say hello.
My name's Ethan. I'm going to be playing the character Corliss Moligiri.
Who?
These are some of my best friends. These are actually the people that introduced me to...
that's like tender and crap.
Okay, I'm trying to speak here.
Go on.
So these are the people who actually introduced me to D&D. My very first time playing D&D was with them, and it was kind of like old babe in the woods, a lot of hand-holding, a lot of figuring things out. Some characters became unplayable very fast.
Extremely fast.
Like
Session 2.
Fast. We learned from our mistakes, and here we are now. So we're just having a good time. Very excited.
Cool. I'm Hunter. I'm playing the role of Lauren von Kierstein.
Who?
Are you going to do that for like everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair. Lauren's a human-turned warforged, we'll say. He's technically a warforged wizard artificer. He's an inventor who has essentially lost his family and is on a journey to find them.
Did you just womp his family disappearing?
Yeah, and I'll do it again.
All right.
These guys also introduced me to D&D. Well, I'd played a session or two before, but my first big campaign was with these guys, and my first character that died was with these guys.
He also lasted about 2 sessions, so...
Yeah, they lost their characters together.
I mean, technically, he's still alive in the world.
Somewhere.
I just lost access to him. I got locked out.
Well,
I forgot my password to my
we
character.
Did, political assassination.
You murdered a guy.
But you did too.
You murdered a high official within the kingdom.
But that's
Anyway.
Stories from another
Anyway,
campaign.
that was from
Worth
a
it.
bygone
in the middle
era.
of a park.
Yeah.
Do it again in a
There was one witness. They died too.
No witnesses.
No witnesses. Anyway, just stoked to be playing some D&D with the boys and, dive into it.
My name is Brayden. I'm playing Rorik Finnegrow.
Who?
Oh my. Wow. Okay, so you are doing that for every person.
Just the 3 so far.
Yeah, maybe he'll
Why
change
not?
his ways.
Yeah, good change.
Yeah, so my character is Rorik Finnegrow.
Who?
Don't you dare. Oh my gosh. He's a forest gnome, rune knight fighter, and he has a little pet turtle named Conrad, unfortunately.
I like Totos.
Anyways, continue.
No, that's pretty much it. He's a rune knight fighter, he's an archaeologist, and has essentially been out in the mountains for a while. And in his travels, he found a turtle named Conrad, or that
Who?
he named Conrad.
That's a really good bit. I hope you do that for the rest of the
This is
session.
my new favorite
Yeah,
bit.
you-
I love
keep it
this
up.
bit.
You're doing great.
But that's pretty much everything. Yeah.
Cool. My name is Devin. I'm playing a kobold who will be named at the end of my speaking.
Who?
Alright,
Still got it in there.
Now that's a valid question.
My kobold's name is Scheme.
Wow.
He's from one of the desert regions of Lyberencia, James's world. He kind of grew up in like a nomad group and has, for reasons we'll get into, ended up journeying to Heroes Hold, which is where I think we're going to be starting off today. Oh, and he's a wild magic sorcerer as well.
What?
I'm... When? Where? Why?
Right now. Here.
Is he colorblind?
Because it's fun.
Continue.
Just like me. Yep. keep them reds and greens away. I've been playing D&D for about 5 years now. Started off as a DM before I even played, which my friends were very patient with me by allowing me to take that responsibility on first. I love it. I think it's a great way to keep in touch with friends and, keep creative, and yeah, really excited for this.
Well, I'm excited to have you guys on for the ride with us. The audience, Devin,
Okay.
there's many of them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Who's?
Yeah, you heard him.
Who's?
Anyways, I'm really excited to have you guys along for the ride here. And without further ado, let's get started. Swords clash. People are dying. Corliss, you find yourself back at the wall. Your friends are fighting off the flickers, the horrifying black rope-like monsters that drip acidic tar. People dying left, people dying right. It does not matter what actions you take, but the last thing you see as you fall backwards, succumbing to the dream that took 6 months of your life away, is the magic raining down from the sky, shattering the wall into pieces, leaving only the rubble that now stands to this day. You wake from the dream that you've probably had a few times at this moment. You haven't really dreamed ever since the Dreamquake ended, but this one still lives on. You're in your hotel room, and a letter on your table stand right next to you from your friend Tomlin requesting to meet you at the tavern here nearby, the road's edge.
That's right, my good friend Tavern Tomlin.
My Tom.
Friends with taverns.
He's
I
a
know a lot
closeted
of
alcoholic.
I know a lot of taverns. They've gotten me through
You're on the
so
first name basis with all the taverns.
Some of my closest friends are taverns.
Friends in every single city.
I got friends.
multiple friends. Yeah, that's where I'm on my way to. I want to go visit my friend Tomlin. He said that he needed some help.
All right,
I'm
perfect.
on my way.
What do you want to do first this morning?
I wanna examine that letter though.
All right. You pick up the letter. Tomlin kind of explains that flickers have been seen around Heroes Hold. This is the furthest that they've been sighted ever since the Dreamquake. Even though they did ravage many of the Dragon's cavalry, and one or two have been seen in between the wall and Etterdal, none have been seen this far out. And he wanted to talk to you about it and see if you wanted to go hunt down a couple of these bad boys for old time's sake.
Oh, absolutely. They took out our comrades and our brothers at the wall, and I mean to avenge them. Did he mention where that was?
Yeah. So the road's edge is right in the middle of the inner city. Heroes Hold is divided into 3 different rings. The center city, where it was when it first was founded. Then there's the inner city, which is the ring outside of that, and then the outer city, which is between the wall and everything else. Right now, you're located in the outer city, and it's just a few minutes walk from where you're at.
Okay. Then I grab my longsword, I don my plate armor, and make my way out into the world down the road.
Heck yeah. You walk out into Heroes Hold, a bustling city with an air of depression. It is a city of survivors. They've never had a good time in their life, it seems like. Every single climactic event that happens in Lyberencia seems to just dump on Heroes Hold in specific. They don't really get the good end of the stick ever. As you walk through the city, you see that there's plenty of different orphans and children that simply do not have homes, or parents who have died to either illness or mishaps, and the high amount of crime that is in the location. As you approach the main road heads from this main gate and the only gate of Heroes Hold all the way to the center of the city, where the House of Red, the palace of Heroes Hold, is. However, there is a problem with Heroes Hold, as 5 years ago, a group of adventurers had a massive battle with a gifted one. During this fight, the entire, or at least majority, of the main road had caved into the sewer system below. The government of Heroes Hold did begin to rebuild it, but was shortly cut off when the Dreamquake hit, and have not been able to finish building it ever since. So when you head towards the Road's Edge Tavern, it is quite literally on the road's edge. As when you walk on the very small little walkway that is left on the left side of the road, you can look down to the 20-foot drop into the sewer system below.
Gotcha. Yeah. I will say it pains Corliss because he sees his home, that it's been destroyed and quite literally torn apart. But you said there are orphans in the area,
Yes.
correct?
Lots of them.
Are you gonna have me make a perception check or anything to like?
You could throw a rock and you're gonna hit an orphan.
All right.
That wasn't a challenge.
Handful of gravel.
See how many you hit.
That's our new record. I got 7 of them.
Strike!
As cruel as this sounds, James's orphans are notoriously turds.
They
Yeah.
are.
So
It's
The
like as soon
turdiest
as
of
they lose their
turds.
parents, they lose respect for anybody.
all
I
morality
don't
goes
know
out the
about
window.
that. I gesture towards an orphan. I want to be like, hey, little guy,
Hey,
come here.
Call him an orphan.
Hello, small parentless.
Young parentless child.
You clearly can take care of yourself in these hard times. Let me speak with you for a second.
You gesture to the closest orphan you can find and beckon to them, requesting that they approach you. You gesture out to a young girl, couldn't be older than maybe 10.
Okay. I'm gonna get down on one knee. I reach into my pocket. I'm gonna pull out a little candy.
Yeah, you have a few different ones in your pocket, and you hand it over to her. She kind of eyes you very suspiciously. She's like, this strange guy
Mhm.
just came out of nowhere, called me a parentless child,
Yeah,
don't have a
dude.
van.
and is now offering me candy.
Yeah, I know what this looks like.
Is there a van
But
nearby?
hear me out. This is what I say to her. I'm sorry that your home has been destroyed. I'm sorry I wasn't there to protect it. This is my home as well. I hope that this will do a little bit to put your pains at ease.
She's confused for a moment, and your words don't quite sink in, but then she sees the sigil of the Dragon's Cavalry on your uniform, and she realizes who you are. She takes the candy from your hand, she pops it in, and you see eyes that were sunken with what could be malnourishment light up with joy. The candy is delicious.
With slight nourishment.
Very slight.
That's fun.
You got this from Booker's Candies. He's a very famous candy maker from Santo Coronado on the other side of the continent. And his candies are actually known to be able to do that.
Yes. Good.
Now, I see that you recognize my sigil. Have you seen any of my brothers in the area? I'm actually looking for one of them.
She kind of like racks her head as she kind of sucked on the candy for a little bit, and she said, I saw one going that way, as she points down towards the hole in the main road.
All right. Well, thank you. If you ever need anything and you see myself or the Dragon's Cavalry, feel free to approach. A lot of us were orphans once. You know, we want to look out for each other.
Okay, mister. She's super excited, and she smiles up at you as she runs over to her friends, and she holds out the wrapper of the candy that you gave her.
Oh,
And she points back at you. You
have
see
enough
a
for all
dozen
of them.
childlike, wonderful eyes.
parentless. No.
You did this upon yourself.
You don't see joy, you see scheming behind their eyes. They have a new target.
I wanted to be nice. I run so fast.
Corliss starts dead sprinting down the main road of Heroes Hold. We're going to shift our perspective now.
I am like deathly
You're done
afraid
for?
now, actually. I wanted to be nice. I wanted to change
Look
the
what Daddy's being nice got you.
Yeah, you can never trust the orphans.
Anyways,
Oh, that's good.
we pan our scene over to the main gate of Heroes Hold as we see a young kobold approach it with a bronze compass in hand. We meet Scheme.
Ah, the shitty. Finally, after all these years.
You have a
Speech impediment. I'm just a kobold. I don't know what I'm doing.
For all you know, that's what they're called.
Scheme is 6 years old, and in Lyberencia, the average kobold life is about 20 years. So Scheme's
He's like middle aged.
No,
he's approaching.
He's a teenager.
He's a young adult.
Is he in his scheming years?
Since birth.
That was funny.
Okay, so I kind of like look at my compass. I see that it's still pointing.
It is pointing very strongly towards Heroes Hold. For the past few days, it's been pointing gingerly towards that direction, but now that you stand outside the city gates, it is solidly pointing in one direction.
Okay, so Scheme's gonna go ahead and walk up to the gate. Is there anybody like at the gate? Is there anybody?
There is one guard who is sleeping to the left side of the gate. You can see that he has armor, but it is like pieced together from multiple different armor sets, and he isn't even really trained, it seems.
Scheme's gonna go up to him and start like tapping on his armor.
You tap on his helm, just ting, ting, ting. It takes a little bit before you see him like, as he looks up and he's like, I didn't know dragons were so small.
You're dumb. I'm here for the city.
I'm not dumb, I'm drunk.
I thought you were a guard.
No, drunk's my name.
Drunk's your name?
That's what my parents have called me ever since I was born.
Okay. Drunk, I need to get in here.
Oh, you call me Mr. Drunk, man. I don't know you.
Okay, Mr. Drunk, listen. I need to get into the city. It's imperative.
Okay, it's right there.
Okay, bye.
As you walk past the guard, you see him kind of like reach into his pouch and like pull out a bottle, and it's like got a little bit of fluid in there. He drinks it. He's like, "That's the wrong bottle," and throws it away. As he looks back, he says, "Hey, don't you have papers or something?"
I run.
As you start running into the city, you see a man in a brown cloth and some heavy armor sprinting down the same road as you.
Why are you sprinting? Why are you sprinting?
There's orphans!
Oh no!
Why are you sprinting?
There's a drunk guy.
Oh no!
The two worst people!
I'm meeting up with a friend who's not drunk nor an orphan. Follow me!
Okay, let's go.
Okay, Scheme, I'd like you to give me a perception check real quick, though.
Cool, that's a 13.
13. As you're running into the city, you still have the compass in your hand, and you feel the slight hum of magic fade.
I dead stop.
Why'd you stop?
Cause I left my oven on. Wait, okay, let's go do your thing, and then I have to go do my thing.
What's your thing?
Laundry.
Fair enough.
Okay.
As you look down at the compass, you realize that what was once a glowing faceplate has died down to the once dead compass you knew a long time ago.
Oh, nuts. Okay, I'll figure this out later.
Hey, that compass doesn't look like it's working, my guy.
Don't worry about it.
As you guys are heading deeper into the city, we're going to shift our perspective again. We turn over to a sharp-dressed man standing outside a shop. It looks like the building has recently been purchased. In Heroes Hold, very few buildings are built, only repurposed over and over again. They have not had the budget, nor the time, nor the desire to build new buildings in centuries at this point. Many of them have succumbed to arsony, or have even just fell down due to decay, but most of them are simply repurposed over and over again. This one has been purchased by this newfound young businessman, and as people walk by, they seem to like tilt their head a little bit, and, like reach into their pocket watch and like listen in on it, and then walk on with their day. This is where we meet Lauren von Kirstein. Would you like to describe your character?
Yes. So Lauren is a very, as James said, a very sharp-dressed man. His appearance is very well kept. He's been a businessman basically his whole life. And he deals strictly in clockwork men, which are essentially automatons that are made for a wide variety of things. The Emperor in Peak City actually was contracted with him specifically to supply the Imperial Palace with these clockwork men. Lauren's in Heroes Hold because as he journeyed back to Peak City, he found his shop closed. and his family missing. He has a wife and a child. Heroes Hold is where they met. That's where he and his wife are actually from. And his shop it's new, but he does have leftover material, so he's well stocked. It's called Gifted Gears. That's Lauren's shop, and he has he can't be there all the time. He's got to deal with business and meet clients and all of that kind of thing. So he has an assistant named Rogi, and he is a halfling that is very unpleasant to look at.
Ooh.
So if you guys
Very
know,
homely.
if you guys know like Dr. Frankenstein's assistant Igor, okay, Rogi's the exact opposite. So instead of a hump, he's got
It concave.
a crazy indent in his back. Nobody knows why. Nobody wants to know why because it's very unpleasant. Like I said, he is very good at running the business. He isn't charismatic in the least, and he doesn't usually deal with customers.
Well, yeah, he's got to compensate.
Yes. But he's very financially oriented. He's got great business acumen, and that's why Lauren has hired him. So,
Lauren, as you're standing there kind of examining your shop, about to launch the grand reopening of Gifted Gears, a young dwarven woman approaches you. You've recognized this woman. You've probably met with her a couple times because this is Grilda. She is the tavern keeper that's just a little bit further down the road. She's on her way in to not open up shop, but run her shift. She sees you and says, "Hey, you gonna get any of them clockwork boyos to work for me? Special discount for your favorite little dwarf lady? Walk in here. Get up out of here. Get up out of here. You win the night. You win the night."
Grilda, how are you today?
I'm doing excellent now that I've seen your pretty little face.
Hey, she sounds nice.
Okay, great. You do know I'm married, right?
No, you're not.
This is always a challenge. Grilda, you go to work. I'll come visit later.
You promise? I'll get you a special drink just for free.
Okay, sure.
Fantastic. You see her kind of like walk down the road towards the tavern, but her eyes never leave yours. Head turned back over her shoulder as she's looking you dead in the eyes.
Unnatural.
She tries to wink, but you see like
Awkward
almost like
wave.
crusty, and it like finally like breaks free and snaps shut. As she's like walking super slowly away, Rogi finally walks out carrying a box because he's doing some organization, and you see her just like, ugh!
Thank you for that.
And she scampers down the road.
She scampers. She
She's
gets on all fours.
She's all for scampering away from Rogi.
Oh my god.
Probably the only one that can stomach looking at him.
As Rogi is pulling out a box, he kind of like sets it down and he like looks up at you. And it's kind of an awkward thing because he kind of has to like hunch his back even further in order to look up at you because he's kind of short, to the point where he's doing like this full on bend over
Scorpion.
backwards
Oh, yeah.
for you
Scorpion
to just he's full on doing a yoga pose just to look you in the eyes, and his arms do this little T-Rex thing. And as he's looking up at you, he's like, "I certainly would love it if somebody would just look me in the eyes instead of my back. It just unsettles me."
Rogi, I can assuredly say you do the same to people.
I do? Unnecessary. I have never judged a book by its cover a day before in my life, except for that one book called Judging Books by Its Cover.
Ah, yes. One of my favorites.
Anyways, we got this new shipment down here. He kind of like nudges the box a little bit, kind of shoves it into the road just slightly.
Of course.
As he says, like, "Is there anything else you need? I can place the orders immediately."
Actually, there is one thing. I need you to deliver some clockwork barkeeps to the bar later.
So we're actually doing business with that woman.
You're doing business with that woman, yes.
That's how.
Oh, I understand.
Thank you.
We should always lump the weird ones together. Anyways, yeah, I'll make sure that's done. As he turns to start heading back into the shop, I want you two to give me dexterity saving throws.
Oh,
And those two being Corliss and Scheme.
That dexterity.
Ooh, that's a nat 10 to a 12.
Nice.
10 to a 12.
That's a nat 14 to a 14.
Oh,
All right. Well, that's perfectly fine. Corliss, as you're running down the main road, you see a box being nudged right in front of you, and you're like, well, that's kind of weird, and you dodge right out of the way. Scheme, on the other hand, You look down at your compass, look up, and there's a box right in front of your right leg.
Because I'm probably about the same size as that box.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a full, like,
Pancake
you
into
ran
it.
right into a wall there, buddy. The box shatters open and you see precious pieces of gears go rolling out into the street.
Oh!
As you take a solid 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
That would kill the average citizen.
Dude, you were moving.
I was looking at it.
Oh, you're on the ground.
Family Guy death pose.
My lizard guy. What happened?
Somebody
Corliss,
put a box in my way.
Oh,
Corliss, this
God.
is maybe a couple hundred gold pieces that just got shattered all over the street.
It's gonna be a couple hundred more gold pieces when I'm done with you.
Ah, young fellow, hello there. Why were you not watching where you're going?
Why was your box not watching where it was?
I literally
You
just
got a
put
good
it here.
point.
You see how big I am?
Listen. You can blame my assistant.
Corliss, do you stop and come back to help?
Yeah.
I'm
I'm not helping.
As he's coming back,
Just watch.
here, let me help you. And I help him up, and I quickly cast Cure Wounds on him.
You
You
look.
cast a spell on him? What are you doing?
What kind of sorcerer are you?
Yeah, what the help?
Magic!
He's
my
bleeding.
God.
There's shrapnel everywhere.
What is going on?
You probably destroyed the street here. Who are
You see Rogi come walking out of the shop with his little T-Rex arm.
Ew, what is that thing?
It's a long story, please. This is my assistant, Rogi.
As you guys examine Rogi, you see this practical hole in the side of his back like a crescent moon. And it just sucks in your attention like a black hole does light. And you just can't look away.
I want to pour milk in it and cereal.
And he says, that's only for special people.
Can I be a special person?
No.
The fact that he even is open to that option is disturbing.
Did you actually cast Cure Wounds?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you healed him.
Yeah, that's
What
Sorry,
did you
I'm not-
think he did?
I'm not very smart.
does.
If I had to give a numerical value,
You
to
get
how
a
smart I
whopping
was,
1 health point.
I'm sorry.
It's the dice. I should have rolled
It's better than
my
nothing.
D8. That would have gotten you 8.
I'll take the 1 for now,
All
since
right,
that's
good
what we
enough.
got.
We are once again net neutral.
Yeah. Haha.
I feel no emotions towards you anymore.
Nothing
Likewise.
Anywho, good
Wonderful.
day.
Hey, you're
Rogi, please, can you clean up
Rogi
the
looks at
merchandise?
this. Do you realize how much work this was? We just barely got this, and that's like 200 gold pieces down the drain.
Ah, that's fine. And I get
That's
out a,
fine.
I get out a sack of gold and I give it to
He
Rogi.
takes it and looks at it. He says, you realize this is the money that we made, and it's just paying for it again. We're losing money.
What's your name?
I'm Rogi.
All right, Rogi, here. Have a candy.
You set the candy on top of the bag of gold in his hand. He sits there in silence and he says, this doesn't help
Are you gonna
whatsoever.
Eat that? I'll take that.
Wait,
if
you know,
want it.
oh, fine. I'll take it back. I grab the gold.
You take the gold out of his hand. And he stands there, hand still outstretched, looks at you, looks over at Lauren, and says, you realize we just got robbed, right?
All right, everybody.
Yes.
May I please have my gold back?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Want the candy too?
And I'll take it. Thank you.
You have another piece of candy.
And I will fix this, don't you worry. And I just cast mending on all the pieces.
Okay. It's going to take a little bit. Mending only does like tiny little bits here and there.
But I just start mending all the pieces so they're not.
There are still pieces scattered everywhere. People are kicking it. No one's watching where they're
itself.
going.
A bunch of orphans are just like,
Bunch of orphans are like right on Corliss's tail,
They're eating
and
it.
they're just picking up gears.
Oh no!
Ah, not the orphans again.
You've run into them as well.
Oh boy, have
They
you.
got into the basement and they just run amok down there.
you're a mechano man, yeah?
Indeed.
You know stuff about stuff?
Indeed.
I have a certain thing to show you
Okay.
that you might be able to help me with, maybe.
All right. Step into my shop.
Okay.
Corliss, do you join them?
I look at the orphans. I look at the shop. I look at the orphans, and I ask, "Are parentless people allowed in here?"
Never.
Beautiful. And I
just-
walk right on.
Just as a backstory, my shop actually does have an enchantment to not allow orphans in.
You have like
Literally.
Wait,
Cannot
orphan
physically
wards?
walk through the door.
What?
Yes. Wait. Do I get blocked when I try to
No, orphans. I'll say orphans under the age of like 12.
Alright.
Let's
I
say
was
that
saying
translates
that.
to different races.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have a parents.
in similar in
We'll
in,
say human orphan. I mean, I don't know if there's many other races.
Oh,
in
there's
the
so
city.
many races.
in normal D&D fashion. None of us have good relations.
Heroes
with our
Hold
parents.
is.
All right, you know what?
Heroes Hold is
As
the
we
place
go in, I
of
just kind of
outcasts.
lift up the enchantment to let you two
It's like
through.
a curtain.
I just do a little
I take
flick with my
take
hands.
some
and-
candies, I throw them down
Okay.
the road.
Before you
Yes,
guys
yeah.
enter the shop, I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit. As we pan over to a young little turtle scampering across the road. Turtles are on 4 legs. They scamper.
They scamper?
Turtles
Much like the-
scamper.
I think they
You look up
crawl.
a video of a turtle running and tell me that isn't scampering.
Challenge
I've
accepted.
I've seen turtles cook, man.
Maybe turtle scampering.
Back to Heroes Hold. The turtle is scampering across the street onto the boot of a young gnome as it kind of climbs up and onto his head.
You're a gnome?
Disgusting.
He's shorter than you.
Oh, gross.
We're about the same height.
Would you like to describe your character?
Yeah, so Rorik he's about 3.5 feet tall or so. He's a gnome. He has strawberry blonde hair with a little pointed goatee. It's not like the full beard that you'd see on like a garden gnome or anything, but like he's got a nice trimmed little goatee, and he's got fair skin with some freckles on his face, and he has well-maintained plate armor on. And on his back, he has a long sword and a shield. And then he has a little tiny turtle on his head that somehow was dexterous enough to climb vertically all the way up to his head.
Conrad's a special turtle.
Yeah, it's
The
Conrad's
wild-
Conrad's like this little I forget what kind of turtle they are or what they would equate to in real life.
It's a scamper turtle.
It's a scamper turtle.
We
Yeah, that's the
discovered
official.
it.
That's the
New
official.
D&D creature created scamper turtles.
Awesome.
In the world of
Four hit
D&D,
points.
They can climb.
It's not gonna last.
Alright.
Scamper.
So yeah, that's my character. He's a little forest gnome, is what they are. So he has this little pet turtle that's now on his head.
What has Rorik been doing for the past few days?
He's just been making his way to Heroes Hold. And when he got here, he was looking for signs of like old texts and old architecture. Essentially, is Heroes Hold still kind of in ruins?
It almost perpetually is.
Okay, so he's looking to see if there's any rubble that showed signs of being of like non-modern age or anything
Yeah.
like super.
So, with how Heroes Hold was built, give me a history check real quick, and I can give you more detail.
It's a 14.
14. So, as Rorik kind of racks his head about what he does know about Heroes Hold, you do remember your conversation with your, let's say, mentor for
Okay.
the time being.
Yeah.
And he called the city Hild. And Hild was what the city was called over 500 years ago. It's almost as old as Peak City, which was the first city here in Lyberencia. So, as Heroes Hold was founded, it has the center city, and then it built further out and further out. And so, the further in you go on the city, the older the history gets.
Okay, so there was a core in the very center that was the oldest bit, and they just kept
That's the center
expounding
city.
out.
then
It's like a
the inner
tree
city.
with the rings and everything.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, I'm assuming you would be heading into the center city.
Mhm.
The only issue is the center of the city is where nobility and Gorehand live. Gorehand is the latest ruler of Heroes Hold. Ever since the Dreamquake and the self-banishment that the warrior queen had from Heroes Hold, making Etterdol the new capital, Gorehand has kind of taken the city to be his new home with an iron fist. And so entering the center city has now proven to become difficult.
I mean, he would just try and make connections with people that might be able to gain him passage
Yeah.
to the center of the city.
So
or
unfortunately,
maybe some like universities or like if there's a museum at all. I don't know if there's-
museums have not been in effect in Heroes Hold for a couple of years now, and libraries are viewed as smart people stuff, and it's maybe the occasional
words.
bookstore.
Okay.
Heroes Hold is a criminal area at this point,
Oh.
and before that it was a military base. And so it's not exactly a place where you go to get smart, it's where you go to learn how to deal death.
So as I'm traveling further in to the city, and then I'm seeing that my way is kind of barred from the center area.
Very much so.
I can just see the history dating further and further back as I go.
So, like, at the entrance to the city, it's going to be mostly residential with a few shops with newer buildings. In the center city, much more marketplace, lots of businesses and other things than in the center city, nobility and wealth.
So, as an archaeologist, my character would essentially, he would view history as being something that everybody needs to know, and no person should be able to block others from seeing the roots of their civilization or whatever. Like, essentially, he's like, nah, this needs to be unearthed for everybody to see. And so he's going to try and find a way to get into the center of the city, because he thinks that that's where all the answers for the city is. And his mentor did tell him, like, there are things that are old, that are in the center of Hild, that you need to prevent others from getting. So, seeing that there's the, like, trench that's collapsed in the road, does it look like there's, like, a sewer system or anything?
Yeah, that is, like, the main sewer line. It ran right underneath the main road.
Okay, can I tell if it looks like it's running towards the center of the city?
It definitely does, because that's where the direction heads.
Okay.
The only issue is they know that as well and have walled
Yeah, I was
that
gonna
off.
say, I'd assume that they would have done that.
Give me a general investigation check.
Okay. That's a nut 20.
Oh.
Hey, yo.
Nat
First
20.
one of the night.
Rorik has spent a few days examining this area, paying attention to guards, patrols, all kinds of things. And you're starting to get a pattern down. You're learning that there might actually be a way to get in there, and one of the most solid ways you can know for sure is Dragon's cavalry members have been let in the past. They are still respected, although few and far between. So you have a few options. You could probably sneak in if you so desired, with the risk of being caught, or you could try and get yourself in cordially.
Knowing that military people like their drink, I'd probably go to the tavern.
All right.
Don't you have a friend
Do
in tavern?
I?
You get this spark of genius in your head and you start heading towards the tavern. Luckily, you know of the one tavern in Heroes Hold, the road's edge. Not hard to find. It's literally on the main road. As you start heading in that direction, your vision pulsates for a brief moment as things kind of die down in sound around you, as you once again hear the voice of your mentor. You haven't heard him in probably months at this point, and before that, even a year. But the deep voice of an almost overbearing weight echoes in your ears as he says, "The guide is here. Find him."
Should probably get that looked at.
Yeah.
All right, Conrad, it looks like we're going to have to find somebody here, a very specific person.
As soon as the vision kind of pulsated, it retreats back to normal as you feel the rune on your body begin to grow a little heavy.
Ooh. All right, well, let's do this. All right, and then I move into the tavern.
Okay. As you're heading towards the tavern, you see this dwarven lady heading to the tavern as well.
This gem.
She's just a little bit taller than you, and her beard is probably the same height as you.
Can I do an insight check to
Sure.
determine whether or not she's somebody that I would absolutely want to stay away from?
Yeah, go for it. Give me an insight check.
That's a nat 1.
This
Do
woman.
you want to stay with them or not?
The dice give and the dice take.
So I hear Conrad kind of be like, "Ooh yeah."
Conrad goes, "Ooh, yeah." And as you look at this dwarven lady, you feel a little tingle. Is that in your heart? Is that in your stomach?
Yep.
The tingle kind of grows. Is that fear? Is it disgust? Is it love? No.
Intrigued, I approach.
You approach the dwarven lady. She kind of like stands back a little bit confused. No one approaches Grilda.
I lean my arm onto the seat of a chair because that's about as tall as I am.
You lean on the chair, and this thing is 200 years old and breaks immediately.
I stand up quickly. Hi. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Oh, gosh.
I like your
Very good.
beard.
I couldn't help but notice that you've got a fine establishment here. Yeah, it's a.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm looking for somebody that might be a little bit for like a guide.
I can guide you.
How can you know?
Yeah.
All right then.
Where do you need guiding to?
The center of the city is where I'm trying to get.
You want to get in there? Gorehand will kill you almost immediately.
Oh, Gore.
Gore like gore from a body, hand like your hand.
I kind of figured that, but
Yeah, he
Thank
named
you.
himself.
that's very interesting way of naming yourself. Yes.
I guess it's just like he has a lot of gore on his hands.
It's
He's
a
like,
family name.
I don't know.
It's the last name.
Okay. Do you know of anybody that might be able to take me into the middle of the city? I'm an archaeologist, right? And I'm trying to get a sense of the history of this city.
An archaeologist with that armor and that sword and that turtle. Have you ever had turtle stew?
It's okay, Conrad. You're safe with me. And I pick him up and I hold him away from her.
Such a shame.
Conrad is like, help me! He kidnapped me years.
and then muffled because I'm holding him away from her.
And like Conrad's eyes wide, just staring at Grilled.
Help!
Conrad's just like,
Comrade welcomes the stew.
Sweet relief.
he himself jumps into the pot. He's like, oh, F.
End my suffering.
But I'm like, well, I've run into a little bit of trouble here and there along the roads. You know, being by myself, I've had to fend for myself and fend off people that might think I've got valuable items from my archaeological digs.
Do you?
I do not, in fact.
Not a very good archaeologist.
Yeah, you're not making it, are you?
I don't have items of great value.
do you
I have
need
knowledge
money,
of great
honey?
values.
You need food? Because there's a Del Bell down the road and they're dirt cheap.
Bell, I haven't had them in nigh on
They're
5
terrible.
years.
You'll love it.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I'll probably go there later, but do you know of anybody that might be able to take me into the middle city? Or would you be able to?
Oh, honey, Gorand has threatened me many times. I won't give him a
But you're
discount.
so sweet. I don't know why you'd be
I
frightened.
know. Finally, people are getting it. The name Grilled is getting round town.
Oh, your name is Grilda. Oh,
Grilda.
that's such a nice name.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
you see, like through her beard, her cheeks just blush. She's never gotten this many compliments before.
I've never gotten a compliment before.
I noticed that, and I don't
the,
mention it or anything. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. What are my manners? My name is Rorik.
Rorik, baby,
Nice to meet
I
you.
like your height. Not many people are shorter than I am, except for that one kobold I saw a little bit back.
Oh, there's a kobold inside. I haven't seen a kobold.
I know. I want to talk to it, but
Do you know about
the
where he
creepy
was?
guy with the back was there.
A creepy guy with a back.
Oh man,
It
you
would be,
got
I think, a
you
little
go to the
creepier if he
clockwork
didn't
shop,
have a-
man. Listen.
Wait, clockwork shop.
Clockwork shop. Most beautiful man I've ever seen.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I would lick his footsteps. I would sniff the air he walked by. He's special. Anyways,
I hate
go
her so much.
see him. That's where the kobold went. I saw it. But beware the creepy back dude.
I'm sure it's not that bad, but
Oh,
thanks for the
honey, is that bad?
All right. Could you direct me to this shop?
Yeah, you see the box that's tipped over that no one picked up?
Don't worry about it.
Is this run by
Oh,
orphans?
that fully intact box right next to.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay. Yes. Is that the shop you were talking about?
Yeah, that's the one.
All
Are
right.
you an orphan by chance? And how old are you?
No, I'm not an orphan. I'm well into my adulthood.
Good. Because there's an enchantment. You won't get in there if you're an orphan.
Oh, really? I didn't know that it got that specific.
That's what I said.
Interesting. About how old do you have to be to not be affected by it?
I don't know. It depends on the race.
That's fine. That's fine. All right. All right. Well, thank you, Grilda. I definitely will be seeing you again later.
Oh, you darn well better, honey.
And then I wink at her as I.
And
as
she
I-
just like, you see her shake from her head down to her toes.
Oh my god.
As she walks slowly and blows you a kiss.
Now that weirds me out.
That's where you draw the line? That's the line.
You got it.
All right, noted. I'm gonna put that in my character notes for you.
My character has 0 wisdom, and he has -1 charisma.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be great.
That is so funny.
Anyways, Rorik, as you start approaching the shop, you see a little gaggle of children approach you.
No.
I'm like, oh, that's sweet little children. They're about the same height as me, actually. That's a little
Most of them are
intimidating.
shorter than you, some of them a little taller, but all in all, yeah, you're about the same height. But a little gaggle of children come up and they go, Mister, are you going into the clock shop?
I was intending to, yes.
There's a man in there, and he took all of our candy.
Oh no.
Oh, did he?
He did. He has this brown kind of cloak, and he just took all of it.
All right, well,
Could you help us? We're orphans. And one of them kind of like kicks the dirt. It's like, we can't enter the shop. They have a weird magic about it.
yeah, I did hear about that from Grilda, the tavern lady.
Grilda-
Let me see if I can get in there and get your guys' candy back.
You do that for us? They kind of like grab at your armor, like, oh my gosh, you're amazing.
I don't think they have to reach up. At
Yeah,
all.
it's kind of like,
They reach down.
yay!
They pick you up.
But like you just kind of like feel them like, oh yay, they kind of give you hugs and stuff like, thank you so much, mister.
Check your
Give me a
wallet.
perception
Yeah.
Oh,
check.
yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
They didn't take, they put something in.
That's a 7.
7? Yeah, these are just kids giving you a nice little hug. They're
I
just
didn't
really
notice anything out of
desperate.
the order.
And as you look them over, you can tell that they are hungry and poor and they haven't had a good day in probably their entire lives. And this rude man came and took their candy, probably the one hope of light they've ever had.
Rude man.
Can you believe that?
You're
Bit rude, isn't it?
horrible.
So I'm like, that's just terrible. And in my mind, I'm thinking, it's not my problem.
But as you approach the shop, they go, thank you so much, mister.
Sucker.
Idiot.
Meanwhile, Conrad is
All right.
gone.
Wait, what? James,
Yeah?
is Conrad still on my head?
I don't know. You failed your perception check.
I'm fairly certain that I would know if the turtle that's always on my head is off my head.
With a 7, no.
Who knows, man? You gonna go into your shop?
You turn back and they're ripping something apart.
Got a little stew boiling.
They've already got out like a little fire in a pot.
They've turned into
They got a
little
shell
jaws.
cracker.
Oh my gosh.
A little shell hammer, and they're starting to crack a shell.
It's a little chisel and hammer.
Okay.
So, yeah, I go into the shop.
Okay, we're gonna rewind time real quick.
Oh my gosh.
As you guys are in the shop. Gonna talk to good old Lauren here, Scheme.
Wow, there's a lot of metal discs in here.
It's kind of dusty.
Very impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, anyways, I have this thing, and I like try to discreetly in this room of like 3 people put my compass on the desk.
And
I
I
like,
stare intently at it.
look around. I like put my hands kind of in the way, but I'm really small, so I'm not entirely covering the compass up.
Ah, yes, this compass.
You're 2, 3.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a compass.
It's just,
No, it's not.
I don't know why he was trying to hide it. It's just.
No, it's precious to me. Anyways, it kind of only works some of the time. Does it seem broken or off to you?
I shake it.
Give me an Arcana check.
Actually, I'm gonna cast Detect Magic on it.
Ooh, that's good. So with that, I'll give you advantage on the Arcana check as well. You're obviously gonna know what school of magic it is, but the Arcana check is gonna help a little bit more.
That's a nat 20.
Woo!
Let's go.
Loaded
So that's
dice.
Wait, see if you
28.
can do it twice.
Ooh,
Huh?
yeah.
You
Roll
had it
twice.
on.
Oh, I guess true.
Did God intend?
That's an
Another nat
20.
20.
Let's go!
So 2 28s
Okay.
total.
We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Go. The first thing that strikes your mind as soon as you start detecting the magic surrounding it, you immediately recognize that this magic is ancient. This isn't just like, oh wow, this is a few hundred years old, like scroll technology or scroll rituals or anything. This is beginning of the world type magic. And what you do know of the School of Magic is divination.
Where did you acquire this?
I found it in Nunya. This
Nunma?
little place down south.
Yeah, Nunma.
Uh-huh.
Nunma business.
Uh-huh.
Ah.
Wait, no, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Beautiful this time of year. In this economy?
I prefer the spring, personally. This is quite ancient.
With this knowledge, the first few things that come to your mind is one, no scholar has seen this. This is something so extraordinary rare. The second thing, this could more than pay off your debt.
Would you mind if I go back to my workshop and tinker with it?
As long as you wouldn't mind me, like, also being there.
Sure, by all means.
Okay, let's rock.
Okay. And so we go to the back of the room, and I just start.
As you kind of start going in on it, and you start putting like some screwdrivers and a few other tools trying to break it apart, you realize that it is far more than just reinforced. This thing cannot be taken apart. The magic will not allow it. As you continue to examine it, you see a silver sigil or rune on the base of the compass in pristine condition.
Turn it over. Did you carve that?
No, it's that as well as everything else on it is how it was found.
I'm gonna do an Arcana check on that rune. That is an 18.
18. As you examine the rune, you can tell that it is similar to the Dwarven language, but you cannot identify it. This is very clearly either a made-up language or an unknown language.
Well, in that case, I am going to cast Comprehend Languages on this rune.
Okay. As you cast Comprehend Languages and it tries to reshape magically what this rune means into your mind, it seems that the development of the Comprehend Languages spell was invented after this.
Oh, wow. So it's truly ancient. Truthfully, where did you find this?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you,
Your
but
secret is safe with me.
that's all I need to hear. Cut your hand.
And okay, give me a knife.
Okay, I give you my
got
knife.
you.
Is it rusty?
Is this knife rusty?
And I take the knife and I cut my hand and you see no blood come out.
Wait, what the heck? I was just gonna see if you would.
I don't bleed.
That's not normal.
How do you know?
It's a long story.
Things bleed.
You give me a nature check real quick.
Is nature to see if I know if things
You don't
bleed?
know if everything bleeds or not.
I've
I
seen
see
things
this
bleed.
and I go,
That's a nap too.
No, dude, you're sitting there, it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, you're pretty sure humans don't actually bleed.
This is normal, I guess.
I'm looking at my own and I'm like, huh.
Anyways, I was just seeing if you would cut yourself. This
Let me try.
As
was-
you're about to like explain what's happening, you hear the door to the shop ding 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 ding.
Wow, look at the
Ding,
time.
ding, ding, ding.
I should have that back. And I stick my hands out and I'm doing the gimme motion.
Puppies.
And
Gimmies.
Come on,
I kind
guy.
of contemplate for a minute, and it's almost like, you know, like how in shows like time will stop and my internal monologue will go. And I just
Yes,
start,
I will be the one. I will be the one. Yes.
I start thinking to myself just how valuable this really is.
Yeah.
But against my better nature, I give it back to him.
Okay. Scheme quickly grabs that and like stows it away in one of his robes. This was a good idea and I'm happy with the progress that was made, but I think it's time to wrap this up.
You want to go back and adventure in that hole that we were talking about?
I love holes.
All right. Hey, you want to come with us?
1 second, I need to see who's entered my shop.
As you approach the desk to the shop and everything amidst all the tools and gears you have, you see a ginger-haired or slightly
Ew.
ginger-haired gnome.
Gnome? A ginger
don't like
gnome?
Ew, ginger.
This is the worst.
Let me ask you,
Strawberry blonde.
Not ginger.
My bad.
do you have a soul?
worse?
What
This
can,
is
welcome to my shop. What can I do you for?
Oh, it's
First off, he was about to be racist against gingers, wasn't he?
I don't know if you could be racist.
Not
I'm not
racist, but like
racist.
Oh, people
prejudiced
are.
Aries. There we go.
I'm gonna lean over to
That was my entire middle school.
Lauren.
I thought you said orphans weren't allowed to be here.
Are you an orphan?
No.
Okay, he's not
No.
an orphan.
No, Grilda did tell me about the enchantment that you have around this place, and so I did hear about that.
You've met Grilda.
Yes, lovely lady. She's so very nice.
You feel a chill run down your spine as you know the things she's said about you.
She's not. She's a sweet lady.
Yeah, that's what I just said, yes.
The word gags coming out of my mouth.
Well, I'm in search of a guide, actually, and Grilda told me that she saw some newcomers come around this place. So I was just curious if...
Right.
Give me a perception check real quick here, bud.
Okay.
I'm just looking around the shop, twirling about, being pretty out there.
You can give me a perception check too, bud.
Okay.
That's a 13.
13. As you're kind of having this conversation, you see another customer here in the shop, kind of in some brown, a little frayed cloak. But underneath one of the flaps of it, you recognize the sigil of the Dragon's Cavalry.
Oh, actually, interesting that you're here. Sorry, excuse me. I'm
hi.
actually in search of somebody from the Dragon's Cavalry as well, actually.
What was your perception check real quick?
This is 7.
7.
Oh no.
This isn't a very high DC. It's okay. As you're kind of
just
like...
to see him?
No, as you're kind of walking...
Just to see if he's there. Just
As you're walking through the shop, you look through one of the windows and you just see the eyes of a young orphan child.
5 sets of eyes. Just
Oh my gosh.
And as soon as you make eye contact, they dip back down.
oh no.
And as soon as you see them dip by, this gnome approaches you.
Ah.
Child.
An orphan!
Oh, hello.
Are you with them? You're an orphan. Oh no.
Am I with...
The parentless.
No. I'm in this shop, aren't I?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, now that you bring up the orphans, yeah, I was outside and the orphans were saying that some guy in here stole all their candy.
He's an agent of the orphans.
Oh no!
You let one in.
Agent of the parentless.
I don't really care about that. That's not really why I'm here.
Plus, it's my candy.
Sierka. Figures.
Have your robots keep an eye on this one.
Yeah.
Lucius Malfoy, whatever your name was.
Magic man.
Who's Lucius Malfoy?
Magic Mike.
Take your shirt off.
Why?
We have to see something.
You don't bleed.
And he lifts his shirt up, and there's skin.
Okay. You pass for now.
Makes sense.
You poke me, and I feel strangely hard.
It's got rock hard.
I'm not
chiseled.
beefy, but
Jeez.
like
Corliss,
like-
give me a history
hard.
check.
All right. I'm just checking this guy out, and then all of a sudden, history.
Yes.
Oh
That is a 9.
no. We
So-
love dumping int here.
As you touch your new friend here, I guess, you feel a subtle, almost vibration. Not to the rhythm of a heartbeat, but something else entirely.
Very
Like a
consistent.
washing machine.
When something kind of tings in the back of your head, that you've heard stories of an inventor, that whenever he walks by, people would sometimes hear the ticking of a clock. And as you kind of keep your hand there for just a brief moment, you realize that that vibration is very much tick, tick, tick.
You're him.
Who?
I've
Yes.
heard of you.
I mean, many have heard of me. I'm wildly popular in Peak City.
But I've heard of you. You're not human.
All right. In the confidence of this group.
Well, I'm sorry, what's your name? I literally just got here. I haven't talked to any of you guys
Ah,
at all.
yes. Lauren von Kierstein.
Hello, I'm Rorik. But I was actually having a conversation with this fellow here. I was second
Finish
ago.
your conversation, and I will divulge what information I must.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that completely derailed our conversation that we were having.
Go on your conversation.
Your name is Lauren?
Indeed.
Okay, now I know your name.
Anyway, you're a member of the Dragon's Cavalry, right?
Yeah, and I got the orphan's candy. What do you want?
No, that I don't care about the orphans. Like, they can go about their business. I don't really care. But, like, I need help getting into the center of the city. There's something in the center of the city that I don't have access to because I'm an outsider and they don't.
Yeah, you don't have access to it because there's criminals there. You die if you go in there.
Eh? What?
You know Gorehand?
I've heard of him, yeah. The lovely lady, Grindel. Grindel?
Why
Grilda.
why do you think nobody goes to the center of the city?
Because nobility, and there's been a lot of stuff happening outside of the city. People are trying to keep themselves safe in the center of the city.
With
Yeah.
Gorehand?
I don't know much about this Gorehand, except that the people out here don't really like him too much.
Why do you think that is?
I'm also not from here, so this is all
Because he's a nobleman, and there's been rough stuff happening all over the country.
Imagine he's like a dictator, right?
Dictator's a pretty
I
good
believe
word for it.
I can help. Gorehand?
Yes.
Let's just say there's quite a bit of emphasis on gore in his name.
Oh, so he hasn't been the leader for a while. Did he overthrow somebody?
When the warrior queen left,
Yes.
the wall was destroyed. The dragon's cavalry is in disarray. Look at the state of my armor. Gorehand is not a leader. He's a dictator.
Oh, so
He
he
kills
just
people.
he just grabbed as much power as he could.
Hmm.
There was
I
a
can take
vacuum.
you there because yes, we can in fact get into the center of the city. But why would you want to go there?
I'm looking for the history of this city because it used to be called Hild, and there are things I need to discover about the times before this land was known as Lyberencia.
Okay.
And I believe that the interior of the central section of the city holds clues to my goal. And as an outsider, I don't have access to that interior area. But I know that somebody like you, a dragon's cavalryman, might be able to help me find access. We don't need to talk to anybody in there. We just need
Tell
to...
you what, I'll make you a deal, because it just so happens that I could use your help. We're on our way to go find my friend Tomlin, because he needs some help, and he's also a member of the Dragon's Cavalry. If we have more of us,
That'd be... Yes.
we'll have better chances going into the interior of the city. So, will you join us on our way to adventure the spooky, scary hole that the orphan said that my friend went into?
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, Conrad, it sounds like we're gonna... I start, like...
Who are you talking to?
Give me a perception check.
Why are you patting your head?
All right, I rolled a 22... Or 21.
21. You kind of pat yourself all over the place, go to the head where there's usually a little indent in your hair of where Conrad sits, but there is no turtle to be found.
Conrad, where? No! Where is my turtle? Oh, okay. Have you seen a little turtle running around here? He's about this big, about 2.5 inches wide. He's
Anybody
small
want to
and
give
green.
me a nature check?
I can give you an animal handling check.
Actually,
His name is Conrad. He's my best friend in the world. He's the only person
Sure.
I've had for a long time.
let's go for it. 19.
Turtles aren't really known to be in this area at all.
I had a nice stew the other day.
Oh,
What is it with people in this city wanting to eat turtles as stew?
Okay, so I
Oh,
brought
you
out
got
food.
Gilda!
a delicacy. Please refrain from using that name in my shop.
You're right.
Okay, so I dart out the door,
Speaking
and I'm
of
looking
which,
around. I'm trying to find you.
You dart out the door. You see kind of the people going up and down the road, and across the street, standing in a perfect line, watching the door, is just this line of orphans. And the shortest one of the bunch is holding this turtle in her two hands, and his kind of like front legs are just kind of sticking out. And he goes, "They're nice to me."
He speaks? No. He only speaks to me. Forest gnomes can talk with small animals.
They're nice to me.
They're nice to me. But Conrad, did they take you from me? I didn't even notice.
They gave me cheese.
Conrad is special. Conrad, I'll give you as much
flush
cheese
red.
as you want. Just please.
You had cheese this whole time.
No. I ran out like 2-3 weeks ago. I thought you knew that. I thought I explained that to you. We've been a little short on.
We
on
better be
supplies.
getting cheese
Oh,
then.
we absolutely will. What kind of cheese do you love? What is your favorite?
There's kinds.
All right, we'll get you an assortment of just a plethora of different types of cheese.
Who are you talking to?
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
you just see this gnome run out the door and start screaming at some orphans
Yeah,
about
like,
cheese.
What are you doing?
I think he's talking to the turtle.
You see the kids
I'm
just
not
like
even paying attention.
freaking out a little bit, just panicked faces.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay. Did you guys take him from me?
No.
No, I'm definitely rolling an insight on that.
No.
That's a 9.
You look this child up and down, and her face is just straight. This is their turtle.
Can I roll an insight?
Go
as
for it.
Like, I know it's Conrad. I know it's
Yeah,
my
you
turtle,
know
but,
it's
like,
Conrad, but you look at this woman, and she is telling the truth by all
woman,
means.
child.
My bad.
18.
18. Oh, they're lying through their teeth.
I approach. I have a little candy in my hand. I'm gonna turn to Rorik so my back is to the little girl with the turtle. I'm like, she seems like she's telling the truth. And I slowly hand a piece of candy.
You
behind my
feel a
back.
small hand take it, and give me a perception check.
Oh no.
Bruh.
24.
24. You feel the small hand take the candy as you feel another small
And I
hand
smack-
enter your back pocket.
Smack.
You smack it away.
And then I just walk forward again.
You walk forward.
Back into the shop.
Okay, and you go back into the shop. Now you see this little girl with a turtle in one hand and a piece of candy in another.
Like,
Mission accomplished.
Okay. And then I look at her and I give the nice symbol. The what
give
is
me
it?
my turtle back.
I don't know what that is.
The gotcha symbol.
Your turtle?
Yes. I've been talking to him.
This
This
is
is
my
my
pet
turtle.
You're talking to my turtle?
My turtle. His name is Conrad.
No, his name is Ricky.
All right,
like
so
to-
I'm gonna go and grab the turtle.
Okay,
from
how do you want to do it? Athletics, sleight of hand.
athletics.
Okay,
Sure.
give me an athletics check.
All right.
It's gonna be really embarrassing when you lose to a
It's a
9-year-old.
17.
17. You snatch Conrad out of her hands. She doesn't even have time to react.
Okay, and then I start walking back.
As you start walking back, you hear the ah! As
I
you
don't
just
care.
see this young girl start weeping. Heads turn in the direction as they see this grown gnome walking away with a turtle and a young girl crying, "He took my turtle!" And you just see the scorn of citizens everywhere. Just how could you?
I do notice that they're.
Oh yeah, everybody is
Okay.
staring at you.
I just like, oh come on! You know that these children are just
How
lying through
could
their
you?
teeth.
They
I don't
have
get it.
nothing, sir.
They didn't before they stole my
Yeah,
turtle.
now they
that I
have.
had.
They don't even have their pet turtle.
Okay, how common do you see turtles in this freaking city of yours? There's no way you're gonna have turtles in this city. Where would they get a turtle if they have nothing? This is my turtle. I've had him for so long.
Here's where we see the nature of man.
This is my best friend. He's the only person I had for years.
You don't have any friends?
No, I've been a wandering archaeologist in the mountains. He's the only friend I've had for years. And they come and steal him from me and start claiming it's their friend.
Scotland! Okay, 1 second. The man you've been talking to, who's like kind of the forefront of this party that's circling about you, kind of looks you up and down and is just like, "You're a sad guy, aren't you?"
Yes!
You're
That
right
is
where you belong.
depressing. He kind of like looks over at the group of people. This man was so sad he stole an even sadder orphan's turtle.
I just turn and leave.
Just walk away.
I'm like-
And then you just hear boo, boo, as the man kind of goes up to the young girl and says, "We'll find you another turtle. Don't worry."
Yeah, good luck with that. And I just keep walking.
Everybody returns to the shop.
Oh my god.
Anyways, best of luck with your adventure in the holes. I've got a compass to follow. And I pull out my compass and see where it points.
Okay, you pull out the compass. Rorik, give me an insight check. I'll give you advantage on this.
Okay, I've historically been terrible at these. You said with advantage?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 19.
19. As he talks about the compass and pulls it out, you feel the rune on your body almost pull you towards it magnetically.
Whoa. Can I look at that? I mean, I don't need to touch it or anything.
You just
like
steal it like you stole that
I-
turtle?
Turtle thief! Turtle thief!
Hey, this guy's trying to steal my compass.
They're pretty similarly shaped, kind of like circular oval.
They're about the same size.
Yeah.
2.5 inches.
I love
There's
that
a reason I
shit.
don't like orphans or no.
I'm an archaeologist. Can I look at that? I don't need to touch it or anything. Can you?
I slowly put it back into my robes and say, "Look at what."
All right then. Never mind. That's a very unique compass. I've never felt something radiate that much arcane power.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? I pull it back out.
It's very interesting. I think. Can I look at it? Is that okay?
Yeah, look with your eyes though.
Yeah, of course. Okay, can you like?
Okay, I slowly start showing off the dimensions
Okay.
of the compass as I reflect the symbols at him.
Yeah.
As you look at it, you recognize some of these symbols. At the face of the compass, they're definitely not in common or any of the main languages, but they're definitely dwarven-like, but not the symbols that you're familiar with at all. However, the symbol on the back of the compass you recognize to be giant.
Yeah, I speak
You
giant.
do speak giant.
Ooh.
This rune, however, has been altered. But what you do know is it is a name.
That's a name.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, here, you can hold it for a second.
I'm looking at it and I'm inspecting it. Are there smaller runes along?
There are
anywhere?
only the 4 runes for northeast, south, and west, and
Okay.
then the rune on the back. The face where it's pointing northeast, south, and west is not dwarvish, and it is not giant.
All right. So I'm like, oh, this is very unique. I mean, like, you've got a few different languages here. At least 2 different languages here. The backside is giant, actually.
Mhm.
And it looks like it's a name because it's somewhat unique. It looks like it has a base rune that has been altered to be somebody's name a little bit.
Can you read what the name is?
Even with your extensive knowledge of the language of giant, some runes are just specifically unique that you would have to have been there when they were written.
Okay. Try and mull things over, and I'm like, I think it's a little too specific. There are a few different pronunciations, but in order to get the correct name, I'd have to have seen it written and had somebody tell me how to pronounce this, because there are only a few of these that I've seen that actually can be one name.
Okay. Gimme.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I take the compass back and I put it back in my robe.
That's a rare discovery. Where did you find that?
Okay, I come from the Tomb Desert. Bunch of...
You come from the Tomb Desert.
Yes. I'm part of a group that nomads around.
Anybody want to give me a nature check real quick?
Oh yeah. Ooh, 15.
16.
No.
Whoa! That's marginally better.
At one.
Okay, everybody except Rorik makes eye contact. Kobolds are from Lacertilia, a completely different continent.
It's like on the opposite side, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing that people don't go out into the Tomb Desert, I just assume that's where kobolds are from.
Oh, yes, of course.
I guess that does kind of make sense.
Reptiles?
That tracks.
I haven't seen you. I've never seen your kind roaming around this area. I don't really go into the Tomb Desert very often. I guess it makes sense.
Wait,
I have those
Wait.
two.
You're from the Tomb Desert?
Mm-hmm. Born and raised on the playground where I spent most of my days.
That's
Where
where
Fresh Prince?
that's where the kobolds come from, right?
No, kobolds are from the opposite end of the continent. They're from a place called Lacertilia.
I've heard of that place.
That's where kobolds are traditionally from.
Why are you here?
I am following this compass on an attempt to help my enclave with magical discoveries. I'm being as vague as humanly possible, koboldly possible.
I mean,
Oh,
how can you
alright.
follow a compass that's magic has gone essentially inert?
It's not always inert. Sometimes it does stuff.
I mean, there is immense ancient magic radiating
Oh, I
off this
know.
still.
That's far beyond my knowledge.
Here, maybe I can do something with it. Can I see it?
This is like, it went from like only my hands ever touching it to like 3 other
Everybody's.
hands touching it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sure.
Why not?
What do you do with this compass?
I don't know.
He just wanted to
Give
be
me
involved.
a history check. And with this, and with you, I'm going to give advantage to this.
Ooh.
Why is everybody better with my compass than me?
You've grown biased. You've
It's a
become
good thing
blinded
'cause I
by
got
it.
-1 to history.
Ah.
That's a 16.
Okay. These, you can't read them, but they are familiar. As one of your Old Dragon's cavalry members, Dragar Colescale actually had some similar runes carved into his sword.
Yeah, I've actually seen these before.
Wait, where?
Yeah, one of my Dragon's Cavalry brothers, his sword has these runes marked on it.
Is that the same guy that we're gonna go meet up with?
No, it's not. But he knows where he is.
That's fair.
I now have an emotional attachment to this quest. I'm ready to go into the hole.
It seems like the 3 of us are at least going to go meet your friend anyway. Do you want to just stay together?
Yeah. We'll get you into the inner city. We'll figure out your compass. Here you go.
Thank you. Take the compass, put it back in the robe.
We're gonna find your family.
What a leap.
Is your family missing?
Yes, they've been missing for about 5 years now.
That's during the Dreamquake.
Yeah, right at the end of the Dreamquake.
Do you know if they're okay?
I don't know. I haven't heard otherwise. I opened shop here because this is where me and my wife are originally from.
I've not seen my family in a long time, and it hurts me.
Yeah.
But I know that they're at least okay.
I hope.
Yeah,
I
let's. Of course, let's try and find your family for you so that you can.
Yes,
at
my
least-
wife and my 13-year-old son.
I believe, Scheme, you probably wouldn't know this since you're not from here.
There's a lot of things I don't know.
But Rorik, you've probably heard about this. There's a story a long time ago about a great inventor and turned into one of his machines. Does that bring any recollection to
I'm
you?
gonna do a history check. I rolled a 7.
7.
Most of my time has been spent just roaming more remote places in the mountains. I've only stopped into cities once or twice. Like I've heard of some famous inventors, but not really any.
How far south have you gone?
Just northwest of the Tomb Desert.
Of course.
This might be more for me then, but would you please share with us your story? How did this happen to you?
Lauren kind of contemplates whether or not to share, or rather how much to share. I'll tell you this. Occasionally, in my younger years, I would travel to the Decanter, where I studied. And they, in the interest of science, are the ones that would typically provide me with my materials. And this was when my shop was still thriving in Peak City. I would, every few months, make the journey south to the Decanter. About 5 years ago, I was on one of these journeys. And coming back as I got to the mainland, I noticed something very odd. Individuals who shouldn't be fighting each other were. Many different creatures, not of this world, were up in arms against each other. There was chaos and turmoil, and I felt a massive, earth-shattering earthquake, which I've now come to understand was this dreamquake. And the next thing I knew, I woke up on my back, and my supplies were gone. There was nobody around that could have stolen it, and I almost couldn't get up because my body was much heavier than it should be. And at this point, Lauren kind of unbuttons his shirt.
Whoa! What are you doing?
Might I borrow that knife?
Here. Sure.
And he cuts his skin.
Oh!
He pulls it open, and inside you see gears and mechanisms and clocks.
Are you okay? And then he sees the gears and immediately goes, "Whoa!"
Yes, something happened. A lot of strange goings-on happened during the dreamquake, and as for myself, I had fused with my mechanical parts that I was carrying home, and I had become one of my own creations. Ever since then, I have the benefit of not needing to sleep, not needing to eat or drink. While it is not necessary, I lack the desire, and I desperately miss the pleasure of tasting that first bite of hot pie, or the warm sensation one gets from a pint of ale, or the restful night one gets after a long day's work. So yes, I am likely who you say I am.
This happened at the Dreamquake?
Indeed. And as you're talking, he pulls the flap of skin back, and he kind of does a motion on his chest, and you see the cut seal up, and
Gotcha.
Probably using the spell mending.
yeah, and he buttons back up his shirt.
Lauren, I can't begin to say that I relate to you in the slightest. My body was not transformed. I did not lose a great deal in terms of a family, but I too underwent some kind of interesting experience during the Dreamquake. And the fact that we have all joined together, an archaeologist who recognizes runes on a compass, a kobold from another continent with this compass, with runes that I too recognized, but you are an inventor, extremely gifted in the ways of magic and arcane forces. I think that our best chances of figuring things out might be to work together.
I agree there.
Agreed.
But you have an establishment here that needs to be run. Like, would you be willing
It's at
to go?
this moment you hear a shuffle from a back room.
Oh
And I turn to look.
As you see what might just be the single most unsettling living thing
Oh my
in
gosh!
existence.
Oh, this is what Grelda was talking about.
I sporadically shoot a firebolt off.
Roll to hit at disadvantage.
I shout, an orphan!
An orphan.
That's a 17.
17. Your firebolt rips across the room as it slams into Rogi's chest, throwing him back into the back.
Don't worry, I got it.
Hey,
Singeing some of the curtains.
Hey, this is my assistant, Rogi.
Rogi's in the back room
Rogi?
on the
Wait, is he-
ground. Burn marks across his
that a human?
chest.
He's, well, not human. He's a half-breed.
Oh, gross!
As you can tell
is he
by his
okay?
size.
Is he okay? So
Rogi gets up. He's like, oh!
Rogi,
He's still alive!
Come here. And
I cast Firebolt.
I cast Cure Wounds on him. Stop it! That's enough.
You stop Scheme just in time from launching off another firebolt because Rogi would not take another
Should
shot.
I roll Wild Magic?
Yeah, roll wild magic.
Wait,
I've
but
been
Firebolt's a cantrip. Oh, it was a 14 anyways. For those who aren't super familiar with it, wild magic sorcerers are a branch of sorcerers who stem from a more unstable direction of magic. Whenever they use leveled spells, so I shouldn't have rolled for that anyways, there's a chance that a random occurrence will happen. So every time I cast a leveled spell, or use a couple of specific abilities, some chaotic magic may also accompany it.
But I will note for our listeners that the table that we're using for that is based off of James's own table. So it's not going to be what you find in the
The
player's
table has
handbook.
been customized to Scheme and specific.
Yeah. So
We out here
most-
scheming.
if there's anything in this podcast that you guys don't recognize, chances are it's something that we've homebrewed or made to our podcast specific.
I'm gonna walk over to, what is his name?
Rogi.
Rogi.
I'm gonna speak to him in Halfling, and
Rogi perks up a little bit, and by perk up, I mean like he arches his back just a little bit further. Little
And I'm
T-Rex
gonna
arms.
go-
You see him kind of like shake his little T-Rex arms with a little bit of excitement. It's been a while since I've heard my own tongue.
And I tell him, what are you?
And he kind of like turns so his back is towards you and leans back even further so his head is upside down looking at you. And he says, I'm your worst nightmare.
Apparently,
He's some just
you
eldritch
look like
being.
you look like you need this. I'm gonna pull out a mending mint.
Oh, a mending mint, one of Booker's Candy's specialties.
And
Why
I'm
do you just
gonna-
have a pocket full of candy?
Don't ask questions. And I'm just gonna and plop it into his mouth.
And goes, he kind of like swashes it around in his mouth a little bit. Refreshing.
Now, is that gonna fix
Nah,
this?
you think
Why?
I'm fixable?
Believe
I
me,
was-
You believe in me more than my own mother.
I have
All right.
tried
I need.
many
Have you-
times.
Lauren, do you have any bleach?
My eyes need cleansing.
It's in the back on the top
All
shelf.
right.
Lauren, have you tried casting mending on this man?
There is no fixing me.
He is unmendable.
I am broken.
So that's a yes. All right.
I've tried
At least-
all numbers of spells,
at least
and
he's
nothing
got-
can fix my good friend here.
All the more reason.
Why do I need to be fixed?
Rogi, you're just fine as you are.
Thank you. Finally, somebody is lying to me.
Others don't like to look at you. I'm sorry.
I'm very much aware.
Lauren, all the more reason why I think you should leave this fine establishment in the hands of your thing.
He's
Thing. I'm a
He's very
halfling.
capable of running the business, believe me.
That
Oh,
makes
yes.
sense.
People
Why don't
don't
you-
shop often when he's here.
Why don't you come along with us then?
Are you fine with that, Rogi? Can you handle the shop?
Love the opportunity to stretch my back.
Oh,
All right, you will be in charge if you need me.
Watch,
You
we're gonna
know
come
how to
back
reach
after.
me.
Of course.
We're gonna
I'm
come back
gonna
after a long
pull
time.
out
It's
a-
just gonna be beautiful.
I pull out a
he's gonna be married.
basically
Ascending
ascending,
card canvas.
ascending card, and it's basically a custom thing that we have where it's unlimited use, and he can talk to me if he needs to.
Rogi takes it. He's excited to run the shop on his own and not be told what to do.
And we're all excited to not look at you anymore.
I understand.
Friends,
I don't even own a mirror.
You don't know what you look like?
I have never seen myself.
Interesting. We'll be back
I won't.
sometime.
Bye.
Sometime.
in order to strategize for future possible engagements, what is everybody's like dehizzle?
Being a member of the Dragon's Cavalry, I am familiar with martial weapons, but recently I've also become attuned to the arcane ways. So I know a number of spells and healing combat
Okay.
stuff. So
Okay.
I myself am skilled in the School of Chronology. And then you see me just grab a pebble off the ground and launch it at you.
Bit rude, isn't it?
Before it hits you, I do a little motion and it comes back into my hand.
Okay.
All
Okay.
things time.
Oh, you're looking at me.
Are you just professionally short, or like is there a reason for that?
He's just short professionally.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Anyways.
To answer your very eloquent question and very poignant inquiry, I'm a fighter of sorts. I
Oh man.
had to learn martial weaponry out in the wilds when I was doing my archaeological research, and
Okay, so you like punch stuff while you dig up rocks.
not just punch. Like I can use. I know how to use swords, hammers, axes very well. Essentially, I'm accustomed to fighting very close combat.
Okay.
But I mean, I've been wanting to branch out, so it's kind of interesting meeting you, wizard. I actually had a wizard teacher of mine, but I haven't studied arcane arts for a while.
What was his name?
His name was Helmgren.
Ah, yes, I've heard of Helmgren.
Really?
Yes, just in my
What a
teachings at
small
the decanter.
world.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a very properly known.
I've never met him myself, but there were individuals at the decanter who knew of him.
That is fair. He used to be a traveling sage of sorts. He would go to various libraries. But yeah, I mainly just attack with weapons and whatnot, but I'm interested in arcane arts as well. So I'd like to talk to you more about that at some time.
Ah, yes, of course.
Okay, we've got a lot of magic boys here. I'm a sorcerer. I use magic to hurt
I
stuff.
did notice that with Rogi over there.
Yeah.
Like, very, very accurate little fire blast you had there.
Yeah, no big deal. Life out in the desert was harsh, so I learned how to hurt stuff with magic. Yeah, so that's my deal.
All right.
to the hole.
To the hole.
A merry band of misfits.
That's it.
So, as you guys leave the shop, you do know that, like, Tomlin, you're late for the appointment.
Yeah.
You were supposed to meet him at the tavern. He might still be there. Who knows?
Oh, I thought the orphan said that he was in the hole.
Towards the hole, which is towards the road's edge.
Yeah, because the
Oh,
street
never mind.
opened up.
Damn orphans. Can't. Oh my god.
Those bloody orphans.
All right, we're gonna go to the tavern to meet Tomlin.
Okay. You guys start heading up the road. As you walk out of the door, though, you see a perfect line of orphans going from shortest to tallest.
They're
all
still
standing
here?
there just with their pouty faces and big
I
round
step
eyes.
away from
I grab a candy and I say, on a count of 3, get ready to run. 1, 2, 3, and I throw
I
it
did.
at the smallest of the orphans.
Okay, you throw it at the smallest of the orphans, and you see most of them run and jump right at it, but one of them locks her eyes on you and knows, and she comes running at
I'm already dipping. I'm like,
you. You guys are sprinting.
I'm holding,
She has short legs. You quickly outpace this child,
but still.
but she knew. She didn't fall
was
for the
wise.
trick.
Oh no,
She was
I ain't
wise
falling
to
for that
you.
crap.
Was she the one that I spoke to at the very beginning?
Yep.
Wait,
No.
she was the one that had Conrad?
Yep.
All of the same.
She wants the candy, she wants the turtle.
Interesting that you introduce us to the BBEG.
It's just this little orphan child. She's over there. I've been plotting to get all the candy and turtles in the entire world.
For the layman,
Candy
BBEG stands for
turtles.
Big Bad Evil Guy.
In this case, big bad evil girl. Or rather, small bad evil girl.
Yeah.
Anyways, you
Hold
guys
as the
head
orphan.
towards the road's edge, which once again is literally on the road's edge. There is just a small little sidewalk in between where the buildings are on the left side of the road and the hole in the middle of the It's wide enough for one person to walk. It makes bouncing the place pretty easy because only one person can approach at a time without being pushed into a 20-foot drop. Many people have broken bones and even died. There's very little security.
This is life. This is the way.
Is it like a sinkhole where the edges are starting to cave in as
A
well?
little bit.
All right. Well,
this
I'm
is-
walking in.
Real quick, this is remnants of the battle in Heroes Hold
Yep.
from years ago.
About 5 to 6 years ago, there were a couple groups of adventurers going around Lyberencia slaying what are called gifted ones. Gifted ones are incredibly powerful beings who've been blessed with abilities of raw magic.
Dang, that sounds like an interesting story.
It was pretty dope.
I wish I was there.
I wish I would have played in that campaign. That would have been fun.
Would have been stellar. Anyways, Corliss, you enter into the road's edge first and foremost. It's a pretty busy place. There's a couple floors to this building. You look into the typical place where you, Tomlin, and your other ragtag group of soldiers would go to in the far corner to the back left, right by the stairs. You guys used to go to that table every single day during your cavalry days, and now it seems to be deserted.
Oh, Tomlin's not here.
Hey,
I approached
Grilda.
the tavern lady.
Okay, you approach Grilda. You see her, she's like eye level with the bar right there. She looks up at you and says, "Oh, there's a lot of good looking people here today.
And then I will.
What do you want?"
Ooh, I'll speak to her in halfling.
Ooh,
Yeah,
She's
a
a
she's a dwarf.
Oh, I will speak to
Same
her in
height.
halfling.
Okay.
Dwarves are a little bit taller than halflings.
I feel like I can't go back now.
So you approach her in halfling. She like looks at you. You know I'm a dwarf, right?
Oh, sorry.
I can't believe you would do that.
Sorry, I got you mixed up with my friend Tomlin. Really handsome fellow.
Oh,
Anyway,
Tomlin! I
Yeah.
love that guy.
good guy. I was actually hoping
was
to
just
find
here.
him here. Yeah, where'd he go?
Unfortunately, he said that he was waiting for somebody. I'm guessing you?
Yep.
Yeah, he said waiting for him. You never turned up, so he headed literally into the hole. He said something
He
about
shoulda-
flickers.
Yep, I know. He should have known to wait for me. There's orphans everywhere. They hang everybody up.
They're monsters.
They are. They really are. Anyway, I mean, I even tried to befriend them.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
You're a better man than I. Maybe your personality is as beautiful as your face.
Anyway, I have to go.
That's because you're a woman.
Oh, you're back.
Hi, Grilda.
Is that Lauren?
Yes, Grilda.
There's no business for us here. We might as well leave. Don't get caught up with her.
Okay, let's
handsome
let's go.
charms.
I'll be back to stop in and say hello, have a drink and everything later. But
Yeah, you
let's
will.
go.
As your guys are about to walk out, Lauren, you kind of pause for just a brief moment as you look at all the other residents, kind of partaking in their food and their drink, and you just feel the slightest dry itch in the back of your throat that used to need to be wetted so bad. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
If you fail, you're just gonna be mashing food in your ears.
20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You kind of feel the urge come on, but you've been sober for a good minute now.
Sober? Hey, yo, you're a vampire.
And you're able to walk on out.
A machine vampire.
Yeah.
One, you can't be a vampire and a robot.
I'm not a vampire.
Vampire robot!
Vampire. All right, I talked to Gilda, my associate Tomlin,
Sounds like
friend.
we need to go to the hole.
Yeah, he's in the hole.
Indeed.
I need to warn you guys, though. Are we aware of the term flicker?
Oh,
Not a
yes.
clue.
No,
I've been here a total of like an hour.
I haven't talked to
These
many
two might
people
need some
in the
explaining.
city since I got here. So, what is a flicker?
Flickers are what we battled a lot at the wall. There are these giant tentacle-like monsters, almost like a ball of yarn with tentacles, and they're dripping acid everywhere.
Those suck.
Should I roll a
Yeah.
history check?
For
Yeah,
everyone
give me a
listening,
history
those are
check.
the worst.
Yeah.
That is a
Wow.
22.
22. It's a recent word that's kind of come around because for a good long minute, Dragon's Cavalry had it on lock. They were taking care of it, no problems. But ever since the Dreamquake and the wall crumbled, people have started learning about them.
Oh, I have heard of what you're talking about. I didn't know they were called flickers though. That
No one knows their
That's-
official name. That's just what the Dragon's Cavalry call them because they tend to flick about.
are they in the city?
No, they don't often get into.
Based off of Tomlin's note,
Sounds like one may have gotten in, and Tomlin had requested that I come and help dispose of it.
Yeah, it sounds like, based off the stories I've heard in my travels, it sounds like he's going to need all the help he can get.
Which is why I brought you along.
Well, let's
Ah,
We've been coerced.
I see.
go. We have.
Hey, these things are weak to fire.
Well,
We fought them
That's-
multiple times, and I saw how you handled yourself against the
That's very
creature
good
in
for-
the shop.
I am pretty adept at that one cantrip.
And you
Like-
yourself, you mentioned that you're a fighter. You can defend yourself in the wildlands on your archaeological.
Yeah, but I've never
uh,
fought anything like that
trips.
by myself.
You won't be by yourself even now.
That's fair. Oh, all right. Well,
And with Lauren, I'm sure that we'll be just fine.
I've got you guys
Mm.
supported.
Yeah, it'll be the five of us. Well, with
Four
Tom.
of us.
And Tommen is a very, very skilled monk.
You guys have life insurance policies? Just checking. Never mind. Let's go.
All right, venture forth.
Let's go.
you guys want to get into the hole? It is a 20-foot drop, which for
I've
most
got
people,
this,
you do.
and I cast Featherfall. on the
Ooh.
party.
Ooh.
Nice.
You guys jump into the hole, and right before you hit the ground, you slow down. Nice, gentle landing.
Oh, handy that. That's good.
Indeed.
And that's where we're gonna close out this episode, guys. But we're gonna find out more about the tunnel next time. The hole, maybe see what a flicker for the first time. Hopefully Tomlin's okay, and let's pray that no orphans are BBEG.
Oh my gosh. They already are.
Yeah, honestly, they're the greatest villain that we've experienced so far.
Well, we have a couple plugs that we just want to hit you guys with real quick. Devin, if you want to lead us off.
Yeah, so with this being such a brand new podcast, we had a lot of fun making it. If you can't tell, we goof off almost the entire time. If this was something that you found entertaining and you found fun, the most helpful thing that you could do is if you could just leave us a review on whatever website you're using to listen to the podcast. We're also going to be starting to do a question of the week at the end of every episode. And so if you have a question about us personally or about our characters, leave a review with a question and maybe we'll use it one of these times.
Yeah, and we have a website up as well right now. That's extremeadvantage.com. The first extreme doesn't have the first E, so it's extreme.
No E allowed.
No E at the beginning.
At the
So
beginning.
it's
Extreme.
It's XTREME
Is that how you spell it?
advantage.com.
I'm illiterate, so that's
how
new.
it's spelled.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to spell that again.
XTREME advantage.com.
I feel more confused.
Extreme without the first E.
Easy.
But yeah, on that website, there's a place where you can fill out a question, and we'll answer some questions at the end of the podcast. So
We've got also some character info, so you can go and see what our characters look like, kind of the backstory, the lore of the world. The page will evolve as the campaign progresses. If you guys loved it, definitely we would love you to share it with your friends, your family. Just get it out there.
The biggest thing about this is that we are having fun as we make this, and we want you guys to have as much fun listening to it and to really share in that. So have fun, enjoy them as the story comes out, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.